Hello, today we're going to visualize a dataset by using multiple types of plots. We'll be using Jupyter Notebook to run individual cells instead of multiple codes all at once. First, we need to make sure we have installed Seaborn by going to the terminal and typing in pip install Seaborn. Okay, go to the terminal, pip install Seaborn. Click enter. Alright, after that, we would have to go make a new project. I've already done so right here, okay? Alright, we want to import Seaborn right here, okay? By using import Seaborn as SNS, okay? Alright, now let's just click run, and then it'll import Seaborn right here, okay? Now, what we want to grab is our random data set for our examples for the following plots, right? So for that one, you would just have to type in sns.get underscore dataset underscore names and add the parentheses. Okay, now click on run. All right. This will give us multiple data sets to choose from. Okay, I'll choose two of the many data sets provided. I'll choose exercise and planets. Right here. Okay. I would just, so exercise, I pick exercise equals to sns.load underscore data set, and then inside these parentheses I'll say exercise. Okay. Alright, in order to actually display the results for this one, you would have to use the print function. Okay, so exercise, we want to print the data set for exercise, and then click a run. Okay, you'll see the data set below for exercise. Alright, next, since we did choose two data sets to work with, I'll go ahead and type in planets, okay, since that's the other one that we chose. Okay, planets that equal sns dot load data set. Okay, here you'll type in planets, okay, and then don't forget the print function. Okay, it's planets. Okay, all right, let's run it. All right, here you can see the data sets. All right, for our first example, we want to use a box plot using the exercise data set. Okay, right here. So basically what we want to do is to graph the relationship between both diet and the pulse right here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and type in sns.boxplot. Okay, x equals, now since we want the diet and then the pulse, we want to put diet here, and then comma, and then the y would be pulse. Okay, and then another comma to specify the data set that we're getting. Okay, now just run that, and then here you can see a box plot. Right, the line over here in the center shows the medians, and these boxes shows its quartiles. And then for these black dots, they are called outliers, right? So basically this graph shows us that people without fat have a higher pulse than people with low fat, as you can see over here. All right, next example, we're going to use histograms, right, or hist plots. Okay, all right, So in this graph, so we basically want to find out the amount of people with a certain pulse rate. Okay, with a certain pulse rate from here. Okay, all we have to do is type in SNS dot hist plot, then exercise. Since we want the pulse again, we want to put this here, then add a comma, and then KDE equals true. Right, KDE is there to basically show a line in the graph. Okay, and then so comma, and then bins equals, let's say 30. Okay, now for the bins one, it's basically to show how much information you want in the graph. Okay, so click on run. All right, here you can see that there are more people with pulse rates ranging from 90 to 100. Okay, 90 to 100, than people with higher pulse rates. Okay, right here. All right, in our next example, we want to show a correlation from the other data set that we picked, which is the planets data set, by making a table. Okay, it won't be as fancy as this graph. It'll just be like a whole data set or something. But yeah, so it'll just show a correlation between the things in the thing. All right, so here I typed in planets.core. All right, this is the core function. Okay, this function gets a correlation between individual values, like I said before. Okay, now in order, boom. All right, see, you can see the data set here. All right, now in order to have a better visual of this correlation, we do want to use a heat map, which is very accurate in most data science jobs. All right, so here, since we want a heat map of this one, okay, we want to type in SNS dot heat map and planets, and since we also want the correlation between those, we want to put this, and then comma, we want to put in anot equals true. Okay, anot is used to include the numbers in a heat map. All right, so comma, and then we're going to add in CMap. Let's say ice fire. Okay. All right. The CMap is basically it really just basically follows your desired range of colors. So, okay. All right, let's just run this. Oh. Let's just, yeah, forgot that. All right, there we go. Okay, here you can see a heat map of everything. Okay, so the graph gives us a guide in the corner right here to tell whether something is closely related to something or not. Okay, so now in order to read the graph, let's see some examples. Like, so basically you can see the distance and the mass, right? And then there it says that it's more closely related than the distance and the year. Okay, as you can see from the colors right here, so the distance and the mass right here, this is the color, as opposed to the distance and the year, the color is over here. Okay, and then another example would be the year and the distance. Okay, right here. And they're more closely related than the year and the mass, according to this spectrum right here. Okay, all right. Now for our next example, we want to see different types of plots that are also paired. That is called a pair plot. Okay, it's used for bigger and complicated plots. So it just basically combines individual features in a dataset. Again, we want to use the planets dataset for this example. Okay, all right. So for here, type in SNS that pair plot, and then in the parentheses, you'll want to type in planets dot select, and since you also want the different data types, you would type in d types. Okay, and it'll be based on the number. Okay, as you can see right here, it'll be based on the number. Okay, so number and then here comma, and then we want to choose the color by the year. Okay, and then after that, just run the code. All right, after I clicked on run, here you can see a large pair plot that shows multiple distribution plots and others that are plotted against each other. Okay, again, it's also according to the year. The colors are according to the year. Okay, that is our pair plot. Next, we want to look at a strip plot. Okay, a strip plot is basically used to see the distribution of the data easier without any other information about medians and quartiles like the box plot that we first did. Okay, so here, in order to do a strip plot, we would have to type in SNS dot strip plot. Okay, all right, since for this one I want to show a relationship between the kind and the pulse between or in the exercise data set. Okay, all right, again, so type in SNS.strip plot, and then for this one just type in x equals kind. Right, followed by a comma, y equals pulse, since we do want to get that. All right, and then again, we want it for exercise, and then type in dodge equals true. Okay, I use dodge to basically separate the dots even more, to make it easier to read. Okay, all right, let's just click on run. All right, see here, with the dodge having it as a true statement, you can see the distance between the dots and stuff like that. Okay, all right, plus there are also 3 lines that you can see of the scattered data for the kind category according to their pulse. Right, this is basically the differences between the pulses when you're resting, when you're walking around, and running. Okay, the higher the pulse, the higher the pulse is when you're running. Okay, all right, that is it for the tutorial today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Okay, Have a nice day. Bye bye.